Hi, it's Lori Lighting from Dreams, Visions, and Revelations, as well as Lori Lighting Ministries. I'm on my walk again along Westwood Lake, and it's Sunday, May the 27th, and another beautiful sunny day. And we had a wonderful time at church today. My husband and I had been away for a while, and our church was, where our church is, it's in a school, and they're renovating and extending the school, and also for the church because the church is growing. So they've been having to take our church somewhere else in the community. And so, but today was the new building is still not ready, so we had church outdoors across the street, where our church also has some land and they use for the youth group. There's a building there, and anyways, they had it all set up outside, chairs and the stage, and they had some great food afterwards, a barbecue with burgers and hot dogs and chips, and beautiful day, as you can see. Like, how perfect is that for a church service? Well, I didn't know that the Lord was going to give me anything for the church today, and been away for a while, and was kind of feeling a little bit guilty about that, but anyways, his timing is always perfect, and he knew we'd be going there today, and it was a perfect word for the church there, but also for the church, because we're all the church. And now the Lord gave me a dream back in 2017, March the 15th. I had to dig it out, and I sent it to my pastor today, and it's regarding the messengers. We as a church are called messengers of the gospel. In the dream that I had, which I posted in my the dream groups there last year, it was regarding birds inside a building. And in the dream, I came upon this large building, and I noticed the door. It was a large door. It was like a barn door that had been opened a bit, and I noticed that some birds were flying out. And I'm looking around to see, well, whose business is this? You know, I felt it was somebody was in charge of this business, this building, and they didn't know that these birds were escaping. So I felt, oh, I better close this door and keep the rest of these birds inside. But then I realized, wait a minute, that's not right. It didn't feel right in my spirit to close the door and keep these birds hidden inside the building. So I opened up the door and I opened it wide. And then I stood there and I watched as the birds started to fly out. And there were some birds still inside the building, and it was dark in there, though I can see the birds. There was just no light. And some of these birds were sleeping, but they were now waking up. And there was all kinds of different birds: pigeons, doves, gray pigeons, and white egrets. I think I'm saying that right. They're actually a bird from Africa, and I watched him in particular because he was by himself, and he was in this nest, a big nest, and I watched him lift his head up and stretch his neck, and it was like he had been sleeping for a while, and then he saw the light coming through the door, and it woke him up. And I get Isaiah 60 and Isaiah 61 for the church. This is the season where the church is waking up, rising up. She has been in a deep sleep. And the Lord is saying it's now time for my messengers to come out of the church door, out of the church walls, and start flying out, delivering my message of the gospel, the true message of who Jesus Christ is, and the good news that he is to come to bring freedom and liberty, salvation to all who will receive him. And so at our church service today, as we're standing outside in the open air, the sun's shining, the church speakers were talking about, here we are, a church with no walls, and there's no door, And we are free to be able to go out into our community and start praying for the sick, healing and delivering, and bringing to Jesus for salvation. And it was like I kept getting, it's a new day. It's a new day, it's a new beginning for the church. It was like a prophecy of something the Lord gave me back in 2017, and He sent me to church today, specifically for this time, because our church has been given a new building, and which we'll be going into next Sunday. But today we are outside as a church body, sharing the gospel, preaching, praying for one another, having food together, not inside the church, but outside the church. And those around our church, the houses around, could actually hear our service as we're singing and preaching and praying. And it was just such an encouraging moment for me today, that this word that He gave me, this dream He gave me a year ago, it was for tonight, was for today. It was a perfect timely word for this season. And I pass it on to my pastor now, and so he can be encouraged, because he has a burden for the church to get out. We are a place to come into for healing and discipleship, but then we are to be sent out. That is his heart, that is his passion for the church, and that's my passion, that's my husband's passion as well. So I hope you found that encouraging. So rise up like an eagle, get out of your nest, and start flying, soaring high for Jesus Christ. All right, this is your time. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.